Hey guys, we are back with episode 2 of Franchise Hockey Manager 9 with the Seattle Kraken. Once again, we'll get all the self-promotion nonsense out of the way. Episode 2. Like the video, please. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. First video is doing really, really well. Would like to see the second one do equally as well. And also join the Discord. Once again, I'll leave the link to Discord in the description below. Let's get started. So I didn't quite get up to November 1st. I got up to October 30th. You can see we are 4-6 currently in last place. The Oilers 7-0-2 out of the chute. The Leafs 8-2-0. We are at October 31st. Jonas Donskoy is ready to start skating. He's not ready to come back, though. Still Connor Bedard at the top. Man, I would love to land me some Connor Bedard. In my Eastside Hockey Manager playthrough, I picked up Adam Fantilli with the Bruins, and he was really good, too. But yeah, Connor Bedard is that man. Right now, it's obviously way too early to tell at this point where we're going to end up. But currently, we're in last place. So let's get to the next day, make any changes we need to make to our budgets, and then get going. And yeah, somebody asked me in one of the comments over the first video was asking me about the sim speeds, and you can kind of see that it's still pretty bad. Still pretty bad, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that I am still playing with every single league on, so that's just something that's going to happen. Top-selling jerseys. Tristan Jarry. Top-selling jersey in the NHL. Let's go. And then Braden Holtby. Really? That seems fairly random. But whatever. I'll take it. Marc-Andre Gragnani is number 9. Let's go. A 2-star, 35-year-old defenseman has the 9th best-selling jersey in the NHL. You'll love to see it. All right, so development. Melanson gets better. Shane Wright gets better. How's he doing? He's got 12 points in 8 games in Kensington. Jagger Firkus gets a little better. Matty Beniers, and I got his name right this time. I promised you that I would get it right. Matty Beniers is up to 3.5-star, 5-star. Like to see that as a 19-year-old. Chalowski gets a little better. No real drop-offs yet. So all in all, not a bad start. So all in all, not a bad start. We'll look at the stats in a second. Let's do our monthly budget. We still have, points are going the right way, which is good. Obviously you want those points. So we spent 147. And how many points did we bring in? I don't know. 71. So is it this? So is it this total, or is it this total minus this total? I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. So it's 147 minus 147.8 minus 74.7. That number gets added to that number. So that's a good number. Do we want to bump? I don't think we need to bump our team morale just yet. I think attendance is, where do we look at attendance? Those are all still just points. Yeah, these are things we're going to need to change at the annual budget. So next, on July 1st, we will change those. Where is attendance? Got to be under like finances someplace. It's not. I think, you know what? It should be under league stats, actually. Yeah, team attendance. We're right there. I wish it would highlight where we stand. But you can see we're top 10. Team harmony. The team has some issues. Let's take a look at the harmony. That's not something we did in the last episode. So let's look at that. Team harmony. So we don't have any conflicts. We don't have any clicks yet. Martin Jones and Daniel Sprong are both disruptive. So maybe they are on their way out. I don't want any disruptive forces. So let's... I want to add them to the trade block. Offer new contracts, set position, buyout rights, create notes. Why can I not set them on the trade block? Do I have to do it from here? Sprung. Yeah, I have to do it from here. All right, trade block and Martin Jones trade block. Let's just see if anybody wants Sprung. We'll offer them to everybody. So offers from Anaheim, Arizona, and Toronto. Toronto wants to give us a 4th-round pick. Arizona wants to give us Juuso Valimaki, which, I mean, he's not terrible. It's not a, I mean, he's a good offensive-minded defenseman. Austin Strand. I mean, I wouldn't mind that trade for, does it list his personality someplace that allows me to see what that, to see what his personality is? I don't see anything here. So, I mean, I would hate to trade for somebody only to bring in another disruptive force, right? So, like, if we look at Toronto, or if we look at Arizona, they want to give us Valimaki. So if we go to Arizona, yeah, he's not even listed. But they have 3 disruptive forces. Maybe it's because they're playing a little better. I don't know. We're not going to make any moves just yet. Not going to make any moves just yet. If we look at team stats, Jared McCann leads us with 10 points in 9 games. This is regular season, right? Yeah. Vince Dunn, 7 points in 10 games. He's a +6. Burakovsky was 7. Wenberg was 7. Schwartz was 6. Larson was 5. Yeah, see how it goes. We're not great, but that's kind of to be expected. Jones and Grubauer splitting time. Neither of them have been particularly good, although Jones has been a little bit better. So let's go ahead and sim ahead a bit here. And I don't know how far we're going to get. I was thinking about, in my first episode, I was talking about maybe doing 2 months, but given the sim speed, I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. So we'll just sim ahead a bit until I've played 30 or 40 minutes, and then we'll pause there. So we win 2-1 over Calgary, so we're no longer in last place, or Calgary, if you will. Calgary with they were 6-1-0 or 6-0-1. I think they were 6-0-1 because there's no. I think it says if we win in overtime. I think it says that we win in overtime. Oh, it saves on the 2nd of every month, so you get the kick over to the following month, and then it saves. All right, so let's delete these. I don't necessarily want those to be in here anymore. I guess it doesn't matter. We're in a rebuilding process. Think carefully before adding veterans at the expense of giving our young guys playing time or acquiring new prospects. Okay. We're going to be rebuilding next year. The fans are very pleased with you. We agree that the approach you've taken is the correct one. Great. Okay. So let's take a look here. So we win this one 2-1 in a shootout. So Morgan Geekie in the first. They get a goal from Huberdeau in the third. And Alex Wenberg wins it in a shootout for us. Good game for Schwartz. Max Jones stops 26 out of 27. Let's get to our next game. Adam Larson is injured. Hang on I got to pause again here, guys. Sorry. All right, let's try to get through this now. Sorry about that. So Adam Larson is hurt. And we need to do something there. All right, so that's not a good injury to have. So for 1 to 2 weeks, let's replace him with. Yeah, I mean we are going to be making some deals, I think, especially when we have injuries like this. Let's go ahead and continue. I don't know if we're going to make any deals this episode, but we will make some obviously coming up here. And I think we focus more on the players that have whose contracts either expire this season or expire after next season. Or probably more accurately, any contracts that weren't signed this past offseason. Like if somebody played for Seattle last year, I'm probably more likely to trade them than I am somebody who was signed this past offseason, because that seems sort of unrealistic, right? You sign somebody in free agency to a long-term contract and then you trade them during the year. I mean, I guess it probably happens if teams underperform, but stop. What does this mean? Why is this thing? It's just going to keep going. It was just going to keep right on simming. I don't know what it was going to keep simming to. I guess until I got a message. So we won a game and lost a game. So let's look at what happened in those two. So the first one was a 5-2 win, so back-to-back wins. Yanni Gourde, a goal and an assist. Tanev, Dunn, Wenberg gave us a 3-0 lead. Then Beniers and Gourde. Max Jones in goal for that one as well. Martin Jones, in goal for that one. Here we fell behind 2-0. Vince Dunn scored in the third, but it wasn't enough. And we lose. So we're 6-7. So I think now is probably a decent enough time to start to think about what we want to do, who we want to trade, if anybody. So something like Jared McCann had a pretty good year, but he's only 3 stars. He signed 5 years for the next $5 million. I don't like that. Jaden Schwartz, his second year with us, I don't like his contract. So let's just immediately put a couple of these guys on the block. Schwartz, Alexiak. I don't know how much interest there's going to be in some of these players, but those are the players we need to be moving on from. Anybody who's, Yanni Gourde, anybody who's 30 or over is probably not that we don't really have anybody 30 or over. We only got a couple people, but they're all going to be on the trade block. And then players like McCann and Wenberg, and I kind of like the idea of hanging on to Eberle, Bjorkstrand, and Burakovsky just because they're 3.5 stars. But any of these 3-star guys could be had for the right price. Like if we offered up Jared McCann right now, anybody interested in him? No offers for Jared McCann. Dylan McLaughlin waived by the Blues. Let's do this. Let's go. I want to go into options, and I want to change this to 2.5 star. We're going to get a lot more options, but we might get a defenseman or two. We're going to sim a week at a time. Yeah, see, that's what I want it to do. Like, if we can get a 2.5 star defenseman who's good defensively, I think that works for us. Edmonton still hasn't lost. 10-0-2. Panthers 10-2 in the Atlantic. Preds leading the Central, and the Penguins 8-4 lead the way in the Metropolitan. There's Martin Jones in the top 10 in wins. So we'll sim the week, see how long that takes, and then I think we may end up only going a month here just because of sim times. But that's okay. That's all right. It just means that I have to play a little bit more offline, which is fine because it gives me something to do when I'm watching TV or watching, doing something else. I can play a little bit offline. You guys don't need to see me simming every single game. That gets really boring. So it's all about the development and the building of this team. And I'll try not to make any major deals offline. I might make a couple of small ones here and there, but any of those major names aren't going to get moved anywhere other than kind of live on YouTube, as it were. Not really live, but live for me recording it, I guess. 7-7. We're hanging in there. Still out of the playoffs, and that's fine. Man, I would love to somehow end up with that top pick. I mean, potentially we can move up, but I think ultimately, if we can't move up to like that number 1 or number 2 spot, it becomes either best player available, or if we are trying to choose between a couple of players, maybe go lean defenseman, since that's where we need the most help. And I think that's where we're going to end up trying to trade some of this forward help for, is going to be for some defensemen, for some Oh, wonderful. Beniers is hurt. Okay, he's only day to day. That's fine. All right, let's replace him with Cole Lind. Lind, I don't think, can play center. Not really. So we need to change the lines up a bit. Just do some of this and some of this and some of this, I guess. Get to next week. See if we can win this game over Minnesota without Beniers, without our only really good player. We lose 3-2. That's fine, though. I don't mind losing games. Don't mind losing games in year 1. All right, what do we got going on? So a trade between LA and Detroit. Tobias Bjornfoot for a second. Okay. And that's the kind of player I was hoping to get from a prospect perspective. Solid defensively. Yeah, that's the kind of player I'm hoping to get. Schultz still held out of games. All right. Next week. 7-7-1. Winnipeg coming up tomorrow. Donskoy and Schultz. So Schultz can be dressed. I mean, we need him, and we certainly need him. He's probably our best defenseman. Injury list. Let's put Schultz back on the active roster. Let's put Larson back on the active roster. Let's look at said active roster. Larson's still out. Okay. Olofsson replaced with Schultz. And send Olofsson to Coachella. And let's go to next week. Wow, 7 spot against Winnipeg. So this is good. Larson's ready for contact. Beniers is ready to go. We get a hat trick for Andrei Burakovsky. Cole Lind with a goal and an assist. McCann picks up his 7th. Bjorkstrand scores. Picked up 4 goals in the third period. Lind, Schwartz, Burakovsky. And Jones picks up the win, even though he only stops 19 of 23. Beniers, excuse me. I don't know why I called him Benier. But Beniers is ready to go. So I think... we take Lind out. And I think eventually he ends up in the everyday lineup when we're able to make a couple of moves. But for now, all right, so it's Monday the 14th. We are 8-7-1. So nobody wanted when we offered McCann up. What about Schwartz? Blackhawks are willing to give us Ethan Prow. No, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I'm just sort of looking at... Oh, that's one thing I forgot to do. I don't think I ever... think I ever set. I don't even know where it is. Is it here? Yeah. All right. Trading difficulty. We're going to put it on much, much harder. We're going to leave it off. We're not going to put it on much, much harder yet. Temporary no movement clause on waivers. We're going to disable that. Shopping recent acquisitions is allowed. And now we're going to leave it like that. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that that trading was harder, and that once you traded for somebody, because one of the ways the game was set up last year is that once you traded somebody, they had it built into the code where you couldn't trade them, because you can't in real NHL, I guess, or something. I remember Jeff talking about it. So anyway. Okay, so who do we have left that's on a 1-year deal that we would be looking to move? Vince Dunn. I mean, he's 26. What sort of interest? I mean, he's okay, but he's not. Whoa, okay. I mean, if we can get a younger version of him, based on how I have the trading setup, my expectation is that we're not going to get much. We're going to have to do some real digging to try to get a deal that we're okay with, which is fine. That's kind of what I want. 6th round pick. Sebastian Aho, not that Sebastian Aho, the other Sebastian Aho. 6th round pick, 6th round pick. Capobianco isn't, I mean, he's not great. Bayreuther, no. Yeah, nothing there. All right, well, that's okay. That's okay. We'll be able to make something happen here, I think. Who else? Geeky's on a 1-year deal. Donato. Donato's 3 stars. Anybody interested in a Ryan Donato? Okay, so same. Okay, so we're back to done. So we only had 3. A 6th round pick from Montreal. Evan Barrett. Wasn't he a relatively high pick? 3rd round pick by the Blackhawks in 2017. He's 23. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look great. 14, 12, 14, 13. Offensive-minded defenseman. I'm really looking for a defensive-minded defenseman. That's really what I want. All right, well, let's sim ahead another week. See what we get this week. And then, yeah, I might, Larson's back sooner rather than later. Schultz is ready to go. Yeah, so I think what I might do is, Borgen. Let's put Larson in there for him. I might change up the trade difficulty, because I want you guys to be able to sit there with me while I make the deals, but I don't want to spend like an hour only to find out that there's just no way to make it happen because the trade difficulty is too hard. We'll see. We will see. I mean, you guys, if you've watched my videos before, you know I like to leave them on that more difficult level. It's just sort of how it's always been for me. But more than anything, I do these videos because they're fun. So if sitting there watching me flail around trying to make a deal isn't fun, then then I can change the trade difficulty. But I would also rather build the team from I would rather build the team through the draft than through free agency or the like anyway. So, all right, what's going on? Looks like the game locked up. It's thinking. Did it just crash on me? Nope, there it goes. Okay. Thought we may have had a crash situation. Sonny Milano signs a 1-year contract. Garrett Wilson, Mitchell Stevens all signed contracts. Benier's good to go. Donskoy's ready to go. Schultz ready to go. Yeah, I mean, there's all of our defense, right? Anybody want Donskoy? 7th round pick, or Juliovi? I hear that. Guess the name is better than the way the name is better than the way he actually plays. Go to next week. Let's see how long I've been recording for here at this point. I'm going for almost 30 minutes. I got a little ways to go here anyway. All right. I don't know which New York team this is, but we will keep going. The Rangers, we lose 2-0. Donskoy is healthy. Put him on the active roster. Carson Kuhlman, we can go ahead and send down, put him on waivers. That's fine. I don't really have any need for Donskoy. He's not bad defensively, but he's certainly not a player that we are going to build around. So do we have anybody on the trade block as of yet that might be interesting? Really? Okay. So we've got some interesting names on the trade block already. Obviously, Adam Fox is the big name on that list. He's not, I don't think we're going to be able to afford him. David Kampf is somebody I kind of like. I love the defense. So if we do make this work, Beniers, okay. Well, that's, yeah, I mean, that's to be expected given the difficulty I have the trade setting on. So let's look at our players. What can we do to get David Kampf away from Toronto? What if we started with Sprong? Make this work now. Okay, so I don't have anybody on my team that can make this work. Can't add them. Okay, so it's a salary thing at this point. All right. Okay, well, that's fair. I figured I had to look. Not a big deal. Let's get through next week. Oscar Sundqvist. And he's good defensively. I like that 15 defensive rating. It's his contract. $3 million, 1.6 cap hit. He's good defensively. But if I'm going to take on salary, it's going to be for a defenseman, not a forward. Joel Armia. Game against LA today. This is really crazy. Felix Sandstrom on waivers. He's not really any good. New York listening. This is crazy. Like, there's no way, right? Yeah. I think that's crazy. And I hope they can get a good offer for him. So in LA, and it is what happens? What happens in LA? A 4-2 win over the Kings. See, I think what I'll do is I will sim, once this is done, I will sim offline. I'll just play the month of December offline, and I'll sim to the beginning of February, like I said last episode. Jonas Korpisalo, another player who You know, a couple years ago in Franchise Hockey Manager, it was really, really good, but just sort of fizzling out here a little bit. So Beniers scores, Carson Soucy scores, and then Yanni Gord scores a couple of goals. So we are 9-8-1. Anybody want Jones? No offers. All right, so let's sim ahead. It'll stop us, I'm sure, at some point, and we can pause and kind of see where we stand. 9-8-1. We're in 6th place in the Pacific. Still on the outside looking in terms of a playoff spot, which, again, is fine. Not looking to make the postseason here in year one, but it looks like the Sharks are really bad. The Coyotes are really bad. And then we're kind of mashed in there with 7 or 8 other teams in the West. East looks quite a bit better. We'd be in last place in the Atlantic, tied with Montreal. Columbus, 4-15, currently the worst record in the NHL. Nikita Shoshnikov doesn't look terrible, but again, if I'm going to pick up somebody on waivers, it's probably going to be a defenseman. And then between December and January, like I said, probably no major deals. If anything, what I'll do is I will get the trades confirmed, and then we'll come back and, I'll come back on February 1st and I'll show you the confirmed trades, and we'll just make them all at once. Or, like I said, I'll just hold off and we'll make, I'll make minor deals between now and then. So Kolasar scores for them. We get shut out 1-0. Jones stops 23 out of 24. We've fallen into 7th now in the Pacific, just a point ahead of the Sharks. Got a game at the Ducks coming up. Chicago and New Jersey make a deal. Jack Johnson for a 7th. Oh, one thing I didn't do was the tactics. It was the tactics page. So we look at our top line. Yeah, one of the things that they added to this, which is something that I should have done right off the bat, is you can look at the different style of plays and you can see which of your players on that line will be a good fit or a bad fit. So it looks like stretch is probably the best breakout. Balanced attack works there. The forecheck. So we don't really have anybody who's a great fit for any of that. So we'll stay in the 1-2-2. So yeah, I do like that. I mean, it doesn't help us much here, but flexible reaction, Bjorkstrand, and except Donato's not on that line. Oh, so this doesn't tell you that line. It tells you your entire roster. I wish if you were like if I had this checked here that it would show me who on this line has been, who is a great fit for this strategy. Like that would be incredibly helpful, I think. Box and 1-1-3-1. It doesn't really matter. It looks like maybe the spread because I don't have any bad fits in the spread. Yeah. And pursue aggressively, stand your ground. We're going to go there. All right, well, that's a little, yeah, I wish you could do it by line. That would make this a whole lot better, I think. But, all right, let's go to next month. Big game against Anaheim here early on as we look to lose positions, and we get trucked. We lose 5-0, fall into last place. Another game at LA, another loss. So losses starting to pile up here for the Kraken. November scouting update. Connor Bedard is up to 3 stars now. And every single sim, we get a little closer to picking him up. We are where right now? 19. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the 6th worst record in the league. I think Columbus is going to lock down that top spot. Arizona, and then there's a lot of teams, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Chicago, all within a couple of points of each other. Let's get to December 1st. We'll set the budget. We'll look at the stats, and we'll call it an episode. So, yeah, from a trade perspective, we kind of see what we're dealing with, right? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to make a deal, but playing offline will give me the opportunity to kind of fine-tune how the trading works in FHM9. And hopefully that will, like I said, help to speed things up in the next episode, or alternatively, get some deals locked down and get some deals locked down and come back on, February 1st or, the end of January sometime and kind of show those deals off. So we're going to stick scouting, leave scouting where it is. I think we're going to bump team morale because we are going to be trading some people, which is not going to make everybody happy, but it's something we need to do. Let's look one more time at our team harmony. Harmony is good. We still don't have any conflicts. We don't have any clicks. That's really good. I get the impression that we can trade any of these players and it won't hurt the team. It may hurt us if we look to move some of these guys, but that's something I will figure out. Statistics, McCann leads us in points, 15 points in 21 games. Beniers having a difficult first full season, 11 points in 20 games. He's a minus 13. Game rating overall of 68. He's going to be good, though, man. He is going to be so good. Wenberg, Burakovsky. Yeah, we don't have a single 10-game scorer through the first month and a half of the season. McCann leads us with 7. Burakovsky with 6. Wenberg leads us in assists. Beniers, minus 13. Carson Soucy, minus 11. It hasn't been good. Goaltender-wise, Jones, 8-6 with a 2.47 and a 9.14. He's played pretty well. Grubauer's been not so good, 1-6-1 with a 2.73 and a 900. So, yeah, that's going to do it, guys. We are in last place, which is fine. We're 9-12-1. Currently the 6th worst record in the NHL. I'm going to sim head December and January. The next episode will be February. It'll be the trade deadline episode, and then we will go from there. Not sure when I'm going to have that video out. This video is actually being recorded the day after I posted episode 1, so it's currently Wednesday. I might be able to get the next episode recorded on Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I have 5 sporting events that I have to broadcast over the span of 4 days. I've got basketball game on Saturday night, basketball game on Sunday night, 2 basketball games on Monday, and then a hockey game on Tuesday. So my world is pretty tied up once I get through this weekend, but hopefully that means I can get a couple of episodes in here for you before that point to kind of keep you satiated, if you will, through at least into the middle of next week. So, guys, it's going to do it here for episode 2. Again, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, join the Discord, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.